It's Simon Raybould. How you doing?
Hello. I'm all right. How about you guys?
Now, a little birdie tells me there is a secret vice in your house.
Oh,
Simon, should we launch
oh,
there? What's the deal in the kitchen?
oh, yeah. It involves a white powder. I'm a baker. I bake bread, and the white powder, of course, being flour before anybody else starts getting worried about it. I've been making bread now for 5 or 6 years as a hobby, not as a way of earning money, but as a hobby.
So a lockdown has benefits and costs. Can you get hold of the white stuff these days?
The last couple of days I can, but there was a good month or so when there was no flour to be had anywhere, to the point where people were phoning me. They went to the shops, and I was getting phone calls from my friends going, "I've gone to the shop. There is a kilogram of flour. Do you want me to buy it? Can you score me a kilogram of flour?"
And of course, even rarer than flour is yeast. But are you a sour man?
I have a sourdough. I have it's in the fridge at the moment, resting, and I'll bring it out gradually. But one of the things I love about sourdough is the provenance of it. I know this means nothing in the real world, but I got it from so-and-so, who got it from so-and-so, who got it from so-and-so. So I just love the idea of knowing, my sourdough comes from Sue. Sue's sourdough comes from, and there's a history to this starter. And of course, by the time you've fed it and kept it for a couple of months, there's none of the original left. But it just feels nice to have that kind of thing at the back of your head.
Well, probably we've got Nigel Slater's sneeze in there somewhere. Isn't it? There are so many atoms of everything that every breath has a bit of Julius Caesar's last flu. Actually, probably.
Yeah, we've all got
let's
a
get
bit
off that because we've got COVID. That's probably a bad idea.
Let's go for every one of us contains a little atom or two that has been in a star in the sky somewhere. That's much more romantic than somebody sneeze and dead Julius Caesar.
That's why you're the best-selling author. Did I mention that?
Oh.
Dear viewer, we are in the presence of royalty. This man.
You can put the crowbar away now, man. Put the crowbar away.
Okay, just put the money in the post, mate. This guy is
fine. Used fivers as usual.
40 great chapters which will change your life from strictly average, Mr. Viewer, to being amazing. Give it a go. So, Simon, you're a presenter, I'm a presenter. We often fly, drive, walk to our venues and find 1, 5 or 20 fairly frightened people who would rather go to the dentist than be there that day, and we teach them to be confident and articulate and structured and wonderful and use their voices like Laurence Olivier. And it's all good.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I had one. When you go into the room and you can see that some people don't want to be there, and there's a guy just sitting there, and I kind of did the introductions, and he went, "Why are you here? What do you want from the day?" And he went, "I kid you not," and this is the accent he did. He went, "Kid, it's company policy. Have to do 6 days training a year.
Yeah.
Last year I did nout. So this year I have to do 12, apparently. So far, son, that's day number 2. And that was it. That was all he said for the entirety of the day.
And Simon, you said, "I am so moved by your performance. I don't think there's anything further I can teach you." That does remind us that in our classroom...
As long as he wasn't... Yeah.
In our classroom, we have vacationers, volunteers and prisoners. I think we know which one he was.
Oh, yes. But so long as he wasn't spoiling anybody else's day, let him get on with it.
Yeah, shut up and sit there. No problem. No problem. Adding to the atmosphere. The only one I can compete with on that, I did a training in the Czech Republic the night before. Huge forester came over, slammed down a knife on the table, like a pocket knife, slammed down another pocket knife on the table. This is a training, soft skills training, and said, "Matthew, you're our trainer. I'm not afraid of you." I thought, I wish I could say the same. Very strange. Anyway, so my point was this. Face-to-face training is going very well this summer. Are you finding the same?
No. What face-to-face training? I mean, I haven't seen people for weeks. I don't know what anybody looks like anymore. If I see a stranger on the street, I run away screaming. It's a bit like a zombie apocalypse.
Yes. But apparently, you are a competitive little soul. You got away from this nonsense way before COVID.
Oh yeah. I beat the rest of the training world into not having any work by by some time. Hurrah! Yeah, I got a phone call. Well, I got an email. Just landed in South America to do some work, and I got an email going. This I better not tell you who, but this very large organisation sent me an email going. We love your work. We absolutely love your work. You're our highest rated trainer. However, we've just discovered we're 157 million pounds in the red. And we are cancelling everything. And there's a bit of me going, my fee is not going to make much difference to 157 million quid. But fine, go for it if you want it. So I had no work a long time before the rest of you had no work. You're amateurs.
That is one-upmanship that will never be beaten. Is any viewers can beat that? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. So pretty scary. So we've got a big contract cancelled. We've obviously got plenty of face-to-face cancelled. We get it. So what you doing? What are you up to?
I spent some time improving my Spanish. I spent some time learning the cajon, which the Peruvian box drum. But in terms of work, which is what I think you're more interested in work than me playing the drum, I suspect. In terms of work, I'm getting a lot of IP collateral sorted out. I'm writing a lot of blogs ready to go. Nice. I'm writing newsletters months into advance, so that I never have to do that thing where you go, oh my goodness, I've got a newsletter that's due out tomorrow. Yeah. I've got them lined up, and all I have to do is edit them, so that I'm sending something that's contemporary rather than 6 months old, if it's what I mean.
So I'm going to accuse you, young Simon, of enjoying the opportunity of lockdown. How do you plead?
Guilty. I'm an introvert, and I absolutely adore time on my own, time away from having to perform, time away from an audience, time away from the people that I'm training. The only downside is that because I've got an office in my house, and the only downside is that because other people are in lockdown as well, the sort of 8 hours of day or so when I'm in my house on my own is now in my house not on my own.
How dare they?
I know. Just because they live here, I mean, how selfish is that?
When asked, they give that house as their home address, which is outrageous. Yeah, it is outrageous.
Absolutely. The fact that she earns more money than I do is minorly inconvenient, so she has the right to use it as her address, I suppose. But I love my wife beyond. Yeah, I love her beyond words, reason, and measure. But she talks. She comes into the same room as me. She comes into the same room and talks at me. She engages me in interesting conversation.
Fruitful discourse, I believe, is the legal term. And that love is tempered by salary and nighttime. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
What? You call it what? Legal? What? I call it giving me a list of jobs to do around the house. I don't know what you call it.
So the viewer is putting together their own interpretation of your charter, your household charter. Sounds quite strong. There's
no doubt about who's in charge.
There you go. So introverts, I would class myself as an introvert. Many viewers might not quite understand that, and the meaning has changed. But you are a policeman of fake introvert imposters. Can you tell us what they do or what they're like?
Oh, it grinds my gears. It really does. So, like you, very clearly, I'm very comfortable owning the introvert label. And the introvert label here is somebody who likes to spend time on their own, who thinks before speaking, who gets their energy from being alone rather than interacting with people. If the phone goes, to use that old adage, my first response is, what fresh hell is this? Yes. Right? I don't go, oh, goody, it could be a client. I go, oh, God, it could be a client, But introverts didn't used to be popular. We used to be kind of, there's no such thing because nobody ever saw them. And now we're coming out of the closet. And there's a lot of people going, I'm an introvert, embrace it. The problem with that is that there's an awful lot of people who are saying they're introverts or believing they're introverts who frankly are just not. and they kind of go, I'm an introvert. And you ask them why, and they go, well, I once got tired talking to somebody. That's not the same thing as being run down by talking to people all the time. Going to a party, speaking to 50 people, having a drink, starting at 7, talking through till 2 o'clock the following morning, and then being tired does not make you a freaking introvert. It just means you've talked to 50 strangers from 7 till 2 in the morning. Rant over.
Got it. So we've transferred a few ideas, and please feel free to comment on social media channels, which this will be available on, about your experiences of that. So this is the Introvert's Ideal Summer. What are you going to miss? We'll move on to the viewer later. What are you going to miss if we ever get out of this crazy?
I have to confess that in all seriousness, joking about my wife aside, I'm actually enjoying this because it's given me a chance to go back to basics. It's given me a chance to think without the pressure of stuff coming at me. It's given me a chance to do some more research. It's given me a chance to do a lot more writing. So what I'm going to miss when this is over and the world, quotes, returns to normal, whatever normal looks like in the future, I'm going to miss that thinking space. I'm going to miss being in an introvert's world. I'm going to have to go out there again and be an introvert in an extrovert world. And that's knackering. At the moment, I've got enough sleep. I'm relaxed. I'm fitter than I've been in a while. I'm chilled out because I'm not fighting with extroverts all the time.
Wow, strong stuff. All right, mate. So I think that's fantastic. So another quick plug, and then we'll give the thought for the day, the Radio 4 thought for the day. Read this.
Radio 4.
Understand.
You're a posh man, sir. Radio 4 is a posh man's thing.
It's a posh man's plaything.
Excellent.
YouTube, Ray Winston, YouTube. It's all good. So what value or reflective little moment, little nugget can we share or ask our viewers, Simon? What do you think?
Oh, there's a thing I'm working on at the moment, which is to make a point every day of just thinking about what's the stillness in the day, which as an introvert I love. What's the stillness in the day? How can I, and I'm going to use an awful word here, how can I commodify that? How can I put it in a box? How can I systematize it so when the world starts going crazy again, that little bit of stillness is still with me? Either a memory of the stillness that we've got, and that's basically, that's what your iPhone's for, or somehow a protocol, a habit, a thing you do to capture some stillness in the middle of a bonkers extrovert day.
Wow. I think that's something we can all share. So can we all do that? Capture that little moment. And I quite like, it's almost boxing it up to take forward after the crazy so we can still have access to the magic of the peace, the tranquility, the silence. And we can release our silent genius. Simon, superstar, introvert, tea drinker, husband and father, writer.
Tea intravenous, inject the caffeine via tea.
We're running out of film. Man of many talents. Book this guy. Not in London, book me. Book him. Where are you? Newcastle. There we go.
Newcastle, yes.
There we go.
But Newcastle and the world.
They have an airport. It's closed, but it will be not closed forever. All right, guys, mate, take it easy. Thank you, viewers. Thank you for your continued support in these troubled times. I'm not trying to channel Boris or Winston or anybody. All right. See you later, guys. Thanks, Simon.
Take care.